Development Commission meeting to order. We'll start with, I already had this done, so we're actually going to start with the swearing in of our new board member.
All righty. Jason, if you would raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Jason Carter.
I, Jason Carter.
Do solemnly swear that in my capacity as an appointed member
Do solemnly swear that in my capacity as an appointed member
of the Redevelopment Commission
as the Redevelopment Commission
of Morristown, Indiana,
of Morristown, Indiana,
I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
of the United States of America
of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and the Constitution of the State of Indiana,
and that I will fully discharge the duties of the Office of Redevelopment Commission member.
I will fully
Discharge.
I will fully discharge the duties of the office of the Redevelopment Commission member.
Morristown, Indiana, this 13th day of August, 2025. So that's partly a mental acuity test, the way we read that. But
We don't feel
okay.
favorably.
Elaine,
Don't worry, you did really good. All right, let's go on. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. I told him that there weren't assigned seats, but that was Dusty's seat, and he had to sit there. So. All right, let's go with the review and the approval of the July 9th, 2025 minutes.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right. Legal?
just some odds and ends. First, and this may have already been taken care of, as you know, some of these things happened before my tenure. Craney Building has been sold, has been closed. Morgan has received a wire transfer of significant funds, but I understand that when it was acquired, that funds were borrowed from the RDC.
The water and sewage company.
Oh, water and
I don't think we borrowed any from the RDC.
Never mind, it was water and sewage, but we'll take that out. But we just need to make sure that
Goes back into that, yes.
paid back and accounted for. Other than that, there's continuing discussions on utility issues that at some point in time may involve the RDC in terms of potential expansion of infrastructure and so on. There's been lots of discussion on these issues, primarily with Bungie. Dave attended a meeting yesterday that was very productive. I had a follow-up email from their attorney today.
They were happy.
Yeah, that was the tenor of that. So that's an issue that I want you to be apprised of, but there is no need for any particular action at this time. Other than that, everything seems to be falling into place. There's still much debate about SB1, but so far things are fairly quiet with RDCs in terms of legislation that became effective July 1. If you have any further questions or comments, I'll try and field them.
Okay. Okay, anything else?
That's all I have.
Okay. Finances, Morgan?
Just pay Brian $200 from us,
Okay.
and let's take care of our, always the budget. And the bond change, I believe it went to 44.3.
Yep.
Okay, I just did that too.
Okay. All right, do we have a motion to approve those? Well, the one. So moved. Christine?
Second.
Just second. All in favor, or any comments? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. Yes, I put that under new business. You want to talk about it now?
I don't care, I just want to make sure we had it.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not late on that.
Okay. All right, we'll talk about it under new business then. All right, old business, anything for SCDC that we know of?
Other than the Bungie projects, I worked with them again today, Brian. Cody and the guys up there. I think we're real close on being able to make all this work. So, they do have, the contractor contacted me this week. They have a major contractor, he's one of the largest in the U.S. And he wants to know there's a project that Hannah wants done, because they're going to do it free of charge.
Who's this?
A contractor at Bungie,
Uh-huh.
for we've helped them up there with different things. And that's kind of their way of paying back to the community. So I need some kind of idea, some kind of project that within the next week or so, somebody might see.
Is there a spending limit on the project?
Huh?
Is there a limit on the project?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there a dollar amount?
He said they could be parking lots, whatever we want to do, they're going to do it. So, that's not part of the agreement with Bungie. This is strictly the contract. And he's been told.
And what kind of contractor is he?
He's a general contractor, does about everything. So,
You said it's a big one. Where is it based?
out of Utah. He's going to have guys out here for 3 or 4 weeks. There's nothing to do, so they're ready to do something there, and he says, I can go work for the town some more. So, if we need something done, so he said, we'll do it. So, all the hours spent with him was worth it.
Well, I mean, we could talk about Bungie and utility issues for the next couple of hours, but I'll provide a little more detail. And then we'll want to look at that arrangement. I can understand why Bungie is trying to be solicitous.
And Cody told me today, this has nothing to do with what we're working on. It's totally the contractor in the town.
Well, in any event, the situation is Bungie, as you know, is making a major expansion. And that expansion will place greater demands on the utility capacity of the community, both in available water and in treatment. Consequently, there's been much discussion. Dave's been on the point, I've participated in some of it. The community's regular engineers for water and wastewater issues have provided a lot of back and forth. I came into this just a few months ago, but there's been discussions between Morristown and Bungie that go back to 2022 and perhaps even sooner. There was concern on the part of the council, based upon advice from our engineers, that Bungie was moving forward, but really were not keeping us in the loop as much as the community would like. That was addressed. I drafted a letter that was approved by the council that was sent to a senior executive of Bungie and basically said, discussion's been going on for several years now, but it's time to get serious. That did generate a response. There's still issues to be undertaken, but the issues really are what may be necessary in terms of additional treatment capacity and what might be necessary in terms of additional available water. And again, those discussions have surrounded possible expansion of the treatment plant. Is the treatment plant capable of expansion? And is there a necessity for a new well? Is there a necessity for a water tower? Another water tower. And not surprisingly, and appropriately under the law, where improvements and expansions are made for a specific customer, the customer is expected to participate in the necessary financing of those improvements. So those are the nature of those discussions, and then I'll add this, and I think Dave was very wise in doing this. Dave decided to get a second opinion from another engineering firm that we work with. That was the meeting that was held yesterday. It was a very positive meeting, and frankly, a lot of information that came out of that meeting appears to be, at least at first blush, very useful. So.
And we also forwarded them today on the PDF. So they're working on that. And I'll add, they're working free of charge for a few weeks with the ability, if we start a project, which I'm trying to have Bungie pay for, then they will bid on that project against the current web engineers we have. But these guys here were excellent. This is the first time I walked out of a meeting with Bungie, and they were like, this is great. So, they're very professional, they know what they're doing.
Well, it's a firm that the town already has an established relationship. They have been very helpful in terms of planning and zoning. It's HWC, and the incumbent is Western. So it's good to get two views, have some competition there. And the fact that they'll spend some time on this without charge is not uncommon. I mean, that's just marketing in the engineering world.
And then what we talked about the other day is we might have to put a couple more wells in. So I think Bungie, while I'm trying to talk them in, is putting the wells in, donating us the property in the bottom. So we don't have to put it in the park. And it would be beside the treatment facility. And the other thing is, to provide the water, he's looking over a prints tonight for the water thing, and that's what I'm working with Bungie on, paying for this. As far as the water tower, that was our big problem. We had a little issue when we started that, and I did find paperwork where they can't put a well in on their own, so they're kind of tied to us.
Yeah.
Did get that set and then looked at.
I'll want to get a copy.
But we're talking about a water tower, which would help our whole system on the west side of the river over there at some point. And what I have worked out with their financial guy is the way this was set up, the TIF district will receive TIF money on $807 million, which we're also going to sell more water and all that to them. So they're a bigger customer than they are now, and they're our biggest customer. But we could, as a TIF district, hold this off for 3 years till they start getting funding in on the 10, 20, 30, the tax stuff. At the end of 3 years, we could say we're going to build a water tower and basically use their money building it. So they're fine with that. So it's just the initial upfront. I told them the way we worked this agreement out, it's not like the ones we worked in the past where we started out with a 60-40 split.
They're the ones that save the money
Yeah.
by the
I think
agreement.
we've got this worked out, like, at the end of the second year, he said he's not sure how much money, $850 million on 3%. That's quite a bit of money. We could probably start the second year, which then that tower would serve the purpose for them, even though it's over there, because it helps the whole system. It would also allow us to expand over in there. So, because we've got some housing development stuff over there we might be looking at, and that would help with that. So, it's just a lot of hours of setting with these guys.
Well, you may already know this. It's just a footnote. The way somebody thinks water towers are water storage, and they're not. The function of a water tower is to maintain water pressure.
Pressure tank.
That's really all it is. Pump the water up so the weight of the water comes down. And I don't know what the standards here are. Generally speaking, a water utility tries to maintain 30 or 35 psi on the utility side of the meter.
And right now we're at 85 psi.
Plenty.
So, and the reason too to be on that side of town is to get we have customers out there to get them out there for growth. And secondly, we don't want towers too close to each other if we can keep that.
Right.
And if you look at this valley, that's the same height over there. I checked this last night. The same height over there as it is over here. And you have to have the water towers the same height. So that's too much information.
Well, all good information that we'll need down the road, sounds like, or sooner down the road. Okay, anything else with that?
I have nothing to add to that. I mean, other than we're aware of the issues, I think we're on top of them, and so far it seems to be going in the right direction.
You asked me about SCDC.
Mm-hmm.
Don't exactly have SCDC, Because usually Debbie will call me if there's anything concerning Morristown. But we also, Christy and I talked to a lady, and I can't remember her name.
Victoria.
Part of the Southwest grant thing, we've joined that again. So that's what grants are available for things we're doing here. So that's through, it's kind of through
WC.
yeah, WC. I call them HCI all the time. But, and as far as WC, Brian Sheehan is kind of our go-to guy, and he's from Rushville here, so it's not like he made 2 trips out here today for me. So it's not like it's some company that's way out there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, did you send an email to Dr. Hitchcock about the pass-through grant that we were taking that off?
Oh, God, I believe I did, but that was done some time ago.
We talked about it last month.
Yeah, I will check up.
Okay.
Yeah, because the pass-through grant coming off, and the consideration for that was the water main extension.
Yes, yes. Okay. I took it off I left it there just until we get that email, so then I'll take it off. Okay, anything else for old business? All right, for new business, at the back of your guys' everybody's information, I included last year's budget for the annual spending plan that we created. So the first one looks like this. That's what we budgeted for 2025. The only change that we know of is our bond payment will go up to $531,000. So I've started a new column on the far right side for what we want to budget for 2026. That's a fixed cost, so that cannot change. So,
Audra, when is the bond payment paid for? Is it a date ending?
yeah. August 1/35. So, and we just need to have discussion on what we want to budget for next year. We really didn't use what we budgeted last year. Obviously, we spent the public safety. That went to the town for the fire, and the employees for the fire department. Legal, obviously. I did. I assume you sent the lump
Yeah,
sum.
I sent it as a lump sum.
Yeah.
The other ones is not.
The other, everything else was just kind of a holding estimate, yeah. The legal, accounting, administration, I think that was just an estimate, and I think that's just leave it there in case something comes up that we aren't anticipating now. Who knows what, but. Any discussion? Any comments, questions?
No, but I was asked, sorry, Chuck, I was asked, public safety can also be considered our police officers, right? Not just our fire.
I'm sorry.
Can this be used for police officers, not just fire?
That, I believe, was one of the changes in the last session. Before you take any action, let me verify.
Okay, I was saying, a question had been brought about funds for either a part-time officer or another officer, but I didn't. If that comes about, I would just say the funds for that.
I'll have some to you next week.
Lori, where are we at on the fire department guys that we used that month?
Well, we use it for our big guy. He's our most expensive, our chief. But other than that, now that he's full-time, we actually save money. So I'm not paying all those other employees $21 an hour. So we're doing okay. Because I think the next part is, I like Jake. I don't know. I think he's doing a very good job.
Great.
But he needs another.
Yeah, we are getting ready to, we have a meeting Monday. Talk again about the second person.
Yeah.
So we're getting ready to, that's on the plate. We're just taking the steps to make sure it's done
So
properly.
this would cover, you know, if we up bumped it, we could potentially help that to get at least another fireman.
Well, I think we need to know, because last year when we set that 125,000, that was kind of a one-year thing. It wasn't going to be an every year we're given this. I'm not saying we're not.
Right.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, but we need to know from the council the budget plan.
It's going to take us a year or two to get everything straightened out, to see what the financing is too, because we still have to have the part-time, so it's going to take us a full year and we don't have the second one on board yet.
Right.
So hopefully by the first we will.
But this can always be reviewed,
Correct.
if I understood it.
Yeah.
When we went this before. You can always come back and like,
Amend.
reopen and amend, yes.
But we are staying within it.
Yes.
Yeah. I'd say we keep it the same. I would recommend just till we know if there's any, you know.
You're well ahead of the curve. I mean, it's not due at the end of the year, so.
And I'm meeting with, Garrett Falls at the end of this month, so I can also
Bring that up to them.
this to them too.
That
Because they
was,
helped me last year.
that was gonna be my thought too, is that, we should at least, plan on reviewing all the public safety expenditures plus what we think we may be doing, and just prepare for the fact that maybe we'll bump it up or, you know, something like that. That's just a thought I had.
Morgan, what's the waste management fund area?
We're getting I would say it averages 25 to 28,000 a month just from the rail. That is coming in. It's higher. And I know one day they were in 26 cars. They're running, I mean, they're running. They were running 6 days a week, 12-hour days. So it's bringing in more than the truck. And that's going into a general fund, so.
So, and then it's compiled.
Yes, I haven't been pulling from that.
And that will be money we can use some of that too, so.
Yeah, I haven't pulled from that since I started.
But that's just free money. So.
So I think that's what, I think as for our fiduciary duty, we need to know, is that money needed from us? Or do you have it available in other ways?
We
We just need to know that.
How much receiving funds are we using?
We just released it for the employee benefits for their HSAs and come up with we did it for 30 days and, well, we're not throwing it into,
I don't think we'll have any more fire stuff out of that.
Not supposed to use any of that for wages at all.
no, we haven't.
What's it monthly?
You're not supposed to use Racino
It's
money
like
for
22.
any wages.
Okay. All I heard was Derby.
Yeah.
It paid for
I just wanted to
fireworks,
make sure we.
it paid for.
Okay, yeah.
We have a lot of funds.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think as just an initial thing, let's digest our thoughts and then discuss it more thoroughly at the next meeting.
And I would,
And you'll have met with Garitos at that point, so.
and here in a few weeks, I'll be asking the TIF board to sit in with me with the Bungie people. Because that will be direct effect to the TIF board, what we're trying to do here. So that way you guys will be totally aware of everything that's going on. So.
Okay. Any more discussion on that? The second little attachment is what the bond payments are for each month. That's how I came up with that dollar amount. And then the third thing is what we submitted to the state. That was our actual spending plan from last year. So there is more, all of that's just archived documents from last year. Just kind of refresh everybody's memory. Okay, so we will table this till next meeting for further discussion. Okay, anything else for new business? Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Sure.
Got motion? All in favor? All opposed? All right. September 10th, 2025, same time, same place. Next meeting.